So let's have a talk, just you and me, about how to take care of your car, truck, motorcycle, whatever it is, any internal combustion motor. That's what we're going to talk about today. How to save you a lot of money and a lot of grief with a simple tactic, right? I've been doing this a long time, people, and the number one major cause of engine failure and expensive services is your simple maintenance. Now, in the past, long time ago, um, engine manufacturers, motor manufacturers, car dealers would recommend a $3,000 to $5,000 or three sorry a 3 to 5,000 mile oil change. But why did they push them up to 10,000 miles or more? It's certainly not for your benefit. They want to provide new cars and new motors as often as possible, right? So it's not in your financial interest to extend those oil changes. Oil is your primary. Oil is the lifeblood of that motor. It's also the primary coolant. So anything you do to that oil that slows it down going through the motor is going to be a problem. Right. So let's address a few things. Even in the same motor manufacturer, like let's say the Ford EcoBoost, for instance, the various sizes, styles of the EcoBoost have different components. In a 2-liter EcoBoost, the oil pump is driven by a chain, right, coming off the crankshaft, which is good. That's what I have in my car. But some of the larger EcoBoosts, they actually use a rubber, what looks like a timing belt that comes off the camshaft going to the oil pump. And that oil and that rubber belt is immersed in oil, which seems odd, and it kind of is, because depending on the kind of oil you use, you can shorten the life of that. And if your oil pump goes bad, guess what? So does your motor in total. So that's a $20,000 repair if you don't use the right oils often enough. So there's also other things inside that motor that require some concern, and the formulas of those oils need to represent what it's lubricating, what it's touching inside that motor. So you have a rubber O-rings, you've got plastic composites in a lot of places inside that motor. You've got gaskets of different materials, and you have different complex metals, bearings, lifters, and different things like that are going on. Not only that, you have varying degrees of oil flow going through those passages. And some of those passages are really small. So one of the big concerns or one of the big things I'd love to yell at people about is that they try to use viscosity improvers, something that's going to increase the viscosity of that oil. And what that means, that oil's thicker, right? It goes from water-like thickness to honey-like thickness, right? So guess what? If you're increasing the viscosity of that oil, you're slowing it down going through those passages. And if you slow it down, and now it's the primary coolant, that oil can overheat going through the bearings and different places inside that motor. If you slow it down, going through those bearings, particularly the rod bearings and things like that, the oil temperatures can reach over 400 degrees. And what does that do? It oxidizes the additives. And an additive is in all oils so that it can lubricate properly at the right temperatures, at the right viscosities, and not damage the other components, the other potential plastics and things like that might be in that engine that it's touching. So you don't want to slow it down. Stay with the viscosity that's been designed for that motor. Particularly for the later model Cummins diesels, right? People are trying to, you're hearing that roller lifter tick. that what that means is that the roller inside that roller lifter stopped rolling, and so now it's scuffing the camshaft. And there's nothing that you can do about it besides replace that. And there's people out there like Dave's Auto that have a fix. They're going back to the flat tappets on that particular motor because those worked a long time. And for whatever reason, Cummins, when they redesigned that motor, they forgot to lubricate those parts. And without lubrication, it's going to fail, period. Right. So we're talking a little bit about, the chemistry in oils, which includes viscosity, and how it affects the different pieces and parts in that motor. So with our products, we have our Diamond Nanolube that is in our additives that we sell on Amazon and retail, that does not have viscosity improvers. We're not trying to thicken anything up. Your viscosity won't change. It also has things that'll help to increase or maintain the plasticity of of O-rings and things like that. We're not going to eat the O-rings. Some products out there do. Some products have a lot of cleansers that can pull the elastomers out of gaskets and O-rings, things like that, that will cause failure. You'll have leaks, and potential catastrophic failures. So, yeah, the chemistry in your oil is very important. We make full blended oils for the commercial industry, farming and mining and things like that have our Diamond Nanolube in it. It's not just an additive, it's a complete oil. If you guys, if you're in the farming or big businesses like that, they can bring in drums or totes. We'll blend an oil specifically for you. In the farming industry right now, you guys are just now getting started. You don't want to forget to do the maintenance before your season starts. And if you have any kind of issues, any kind of questions, and we'll actually test your product to come up with something that's better, that might last longer, so you don't have any equipment failures. Because we know if you have a tractor or a piece of equipment that goes down, it can cost you tens of thousands of dollars a day if that piece of equipment isn't working. So we're here to help you manage that and to keep your equipment running so you can be more profitable. We're here to help you. We're not here just to sell your product. We want to get to know who you are and what your problems are so that we can develop a product for you. And that could be a complete gear lube. It could be, complete transmission products, any kind of oils, any kind of lubricant. And we're also looking at developing greases now too, that are specific for, high temperature, high pressure applications. So we're here for you. Again, my name's Perry Anderson, the founder of BestLine Racing, and I developed the Diamond Nanolube about, 6-7 years ago. They came from another industry that was, it was the metal cutting industry is where I first saw it. And we've been able to test and prove that it actually works really well. So what is Diamond Nanolube? We call it diamond because it's a round carbon particle that's as hard as a diamond. So, and it's a clear carbon particle, so it kind of looks like a diamond, except that it's round. It's not, diamond shaped, kind of like that looks. It's not, where's my finger going? Anyway, we're not cutting your metal parts inside the motor. It's a nano-size round particle that is super high pressure. You can't burn it. You can't overheat it. Because it is a carbon particle that is as hard as a diamond. So it creates an amazing boundary layer between the parts, right? So you don't have the scuffing going on. Those metal parts aren't going to touch. It's going to have our Diamond Nanolube between them that's going to keep them cool and almost frictionless. I shouldn't say that, almost frictionless. Anyway, we reduce the friction by about 60% from all of our test data. And we've been doing this for, like I said, over 5 years. So, and we have big commercial users using these products that are reporting those same kind of results, right? So you're going to, when you reduce friction, you're relieving the horsepower that was being held back, because to overcome friction, it costs horsepower. So you reduce the friction, you're automatically releasing that horsepower, you're increasing horsepower, which also increases your mileage or decreases your fuel burn rate, depending on how you look at that. And of course, increasing the life of the equipment. So those are all the things that we're involved with. We're here to help you. We're not here to just promote some BS that, I mean, I see a lot of stuff out there. You know, there's people out, so let's go back to that Cummins motor, right? 2019 and newer. When they replaced the flat tappets to the roller lifters, hydraulic roller lifters, their intent was good. They wanted to eliminate the need to adjust the valve train every so often, right? And that's normally the case with roller lifters, you know, in our normal vehicles and race cars and all that. Well, not race cars, but anyhow, the idea is to reduce maintenance, and which would reduce cost. However, they forgot to lubricate, to keep those parts lubricated, so that that roller on that lifter freezes up, starts scarring the cam, which is, you know, putting a bunch of metal debris in the oil pan, which ends up getting around into the motor and causing all kinds of grief, and potentially, and often, and you can look it up yourself, often it destroys that motor, because you don't want you know, metal bits flying around inside that motor, getting between the bearings and all that. It's going to destroy it. And again, Dave's Auto, you can look them up. They do a great job. They've got their own parts, and they solve that problem by replacing the roller lifters with flat tappets, which worked for Cummins for decades, right? It's a great way to go. But you do have to adjust the lifters at that point. So let's see, what else was I going to talk about today? I want to do more of these, but I need your input, right? Send us, you know, go to bestlineracing.com. You can send me some notes, and we'll create some topics that might make more sense for you. But basically, we are here to develop full complement of oils. If you're a commercial account, tell us what your problem is, and we'll see if we can help you solve it with, you know, a new formula that's high, you know, that's going to perform better. But again, back to your personal vehicles. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. There's people out there's other companies out there that sell additives, and one of them in particular says that it repairs metal. Don't believe it. Come on. If you scratch that metal surface, you're not going to rebuild it. That's just so much nonsense. Anyway, be careful. You know, if you put a product into your vehicle that had a ticking sound or something, again, you'll see a lot of that on TikTok. And hey, the ticking sound went away. Well, you probably increased the viscosity, and the ticking sound went away. That's great. Except now you're moving that oil slowly through the motor. And guess what? Remember, oil is your primary coolant. The slower it moves through those parts, the hotter it's going to get, the more quickly that oil is going to get destroyed, because you're overheating the additive packages that are in it. So anyway, it's wild. It's the Wild West out there when people are in the oil additive business, when they just try to BS their way through, try to create benefits that aren't actually there. So anyway, I challenge you to challenge me on helping you solve those kinds of problems. So feel free to reach out. I really appreciate you. All my customers, we have tens of thousands of customers, lots of 5-star reviews. And we have a full money back guarantee. So like I said, when we sell you something, we back it up. All right. So anyway, keep that in mind, and appreciate you. Take care.